All right, so let's talk about this gentleman that was over in Las Vegas. He was here from Israel. He was supposed to be attending a cybersecurity conference, and he did. He was posting about it on his LinkedIn. He was talking about it, putting out press releases, all this type of stuff. But what he was also doing was getting arrested for participating in a 8-person sting for gentlemen that were looking to meet up with children. He is arrested. He is charged, but then he posts bail and is able to escape back to his home country. And everybody's just throwing their hands up. They're saying, yo, I don't know what happened. They're pointing the finger. They're like, it was them, or it was them, or it was them. I've even heard that the system worked the way it was intended to. The system worked in the way that it was intended to in the case that he posted a bill, right? That was supposed to happen. And then he was supposed to come back on August 27th to see a judge. Well, that part is never going to happen. This gentleman's name, if you don't know, if you are not privy to the story, his name is Tom Atrium Alexandrovich. And he is a cybersecurity director over in Israel, high-ranking official. I keep hearing that he's like the right-hand man or a right-hand man of Benjamin Netanyahu. But let me go ahead and give you the news directly from an outlet. Just in case you're not caught up, I want you guys to be caught up about what it is that we're talking about, because this is an absolutely egregious situation. As vast as our legal system is, as far reaching as our legal system is, I don't understand how we have so many gaps in this where something like this can happen. But let me bring it up on the screen. We're going to read it. We're going to go through it. It says an Israeli government official charged with soliciting a minor believed he was meeting a 15-year-old girl for sexual contact, according to police, and even brought a condom and planned rendezvous in Las Vegas. Tom Artyom Alexandrovich, a division head at the Israeli National Cyber Directorate, was arrested in a police sting operation aimed at online users seeking to prey on children. The Las Vegas outlet 8 News Now reported that Alexandrovich chatted with an officer posing as a teen online before he was arrested. So we've heard of things like this before, right? Where, what's the one, To Catch a Predator? Essentially, this was a To Catch a Predator type of situation where he thought he was going to be meeting up with somebody that he's been chatting online with, or he thought he was chatting online with. And when he shows up, they don't turn out to be the person that he thought that they were going to be. So we've seen that before. What we haven't seen is what happens later. It says the sexual contact included bringing the condom and taking the decoy to Cirque du Soleil. So he thought he was going to meet up. They were going to have a date. I don't know how you date somebody that's underage, but that's what he was essentially trying to do. Details of the arrest came as the State Department denied the U.S. government played any role in releasing the Israeli official after Alexandrovich was able to return to Israel once he bonded out of jail in connection with the felony charge. See, this is where it gets conspiracy. This is where the conspiracy starts. How do you have somebody that is charged with this heinous of a crime, ends up all the way back in their country, and then we find out about it days later? Why did nobody seize his passport? Why was he able to post bail before seeing a judge, get to some sort of airstrip on an aircraft, and go all the way back to his home country? This is where conspiracy theories start, because we've heard, or I've heard at least, that maybe the Trump administration has something to do with it. Maybe a call was made, somebody helped him get out of the country. And then we got to turn and look at the track record. Who else may have had a connection to Israel that the Trump administration is trying to hide the details of their involvement with? Jeffrey Epstein, right? We're not going to beat a dead horse, but time and time again, we've heard that Jeffrey Epstein may be tied up or Trump may be tied up in some sort of connection with Epstein. They don't want the files to come out. And then you look at a similar connection, because once is a mistake and twice is a pattern, right? So we got to look closely at this. How do you have the Epstein stuff that happens, and then you have another guy that gets caught, gets arrested, gets bail, doesn't get his passport confiscated, but he does get a first-class flight back to his home country where he gets to escape the justice of America while he was trying to brutalize the children of America. And he's not going to be charged. He's not going to be extradited back here. It says a swarm of commentary online, propelled in part by Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, speculated that Alexandrovich had been shielded by the government at a time when the Trump administration has been struggling to contain criticism over unfulfilled promises to release all files related to the prosecution of the late disgraced financier and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. You know, I've got to say, with no doubt in my mind, some of the things, some, and not all, some of the things that Marjorie Taylor Greene is coming out and saying, I've got to say, man, a broken clock is right twice a day. She's been hitting the nail on the head in some cases. And this is one of them. You have to ask, why was he allowed to do this? Who greenlit it? Who, the same way that somebody greenlit for Epstein to get that sweetheart deal back in 2008, somebody greenlit this for this gentleman to basically walk off scot-free. You think he's going to get back to his home country and they're going to start charging him as if he committed the crimes there? No, they're not. We all know that. I did see that he had been placed on leave, not fired, placed on leave. And there's been statements coming out saying, oh, well, he didn't really do it. He was just questioned. No, they have a police record of him being arrested. They have an interview with him. He repeatedly was saying, hey, I need to get back to my country. Can you call the embassy? Can you call this person? This is not speculation. This happened. It says the State Department is aware that Tom Alexandrovich, an Israeli citizen, was arrested in Las Vegas and given a court date for charges related to soliciting sex electronically from a minor. He did not claim diplomatic immunity, but he was still released anyway, and was released by a state judge pending a court date. Any claims that the U.S. government intervened are false. See, this is what's confusing. They said that he posted bail, but he never saw the judge. He was supposed to go see the judge on the 27th. But this article by The Guardian and the State Department's statement is saying he did see the judge. And the judge is like, all right, you're free to go. We're not going to confiscate your passport. We're not going to ask about where you're going to be because you're not a citizen of the U.S. You're here for a conference, for a work conference. None of this stuff seemed to matter to anybody. Like I said, you can just come here and brutalize the children of America, and we'll just send you back home until the next time you come over here. Because how many times has this gentleman been in the U.S. and he didn't get caught for the thing that he got caught this time for? That's an important question to ask. It says the statement came after Greene, who has recently broken with the White House over Israel's military campaign in Gaza, questioned Alexandrovich's case on Monday, claiming that the government had released a child predator who is from Israel, who works directly under the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu. I already explained that to you guys. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if he's directly connected to Benjamin Netanyahu, like that's his right-hand man, or it's just a guy that, you know, has a job and Benjamin Netanyahu doesn't know who he is personally. That's just a claim that's been out there that I've been seeing. It says Abramovich, but his name is Alexandrovich, was arrested as he arrived at an agreed upon location for the meetup. He told police he believed he was chatting with an 18-year-old. Everybody does this. Everybody that gets caught, they're like, oh no, I thought the person was this age instead of that age. As if they don't have the chat history. They printed out every single communication you guys had. They have it with them. Do you think that they're just doing a sting on you and they just happen to find the one guy who was actually trying to meet an 18-year-old? No. They know exactly what you're here for. You know what you're here for. And we know where you're going, to jail. Except if you're Alexandrovich, you're going back to your home country. It says Alexandrovich stated he was embarrassed for being arrested, not for what he was doing. He wasn't embarrassed for what he was doing, the reason that he was trying to meet up. He was embarrassed that he was arrested. Now he's going to be smeared all across the news, as he should. But he's not embarrassed for that. What do they say? I know you're only sorry you got caught. Court records reviewed by Reuters show a $10,000 bond was posted in Alexandrovich's case at the Henderson Detention Center, southeast of Los Angeles, on 7 August. The records indicate he was due back in court on 27 August, which he's going to miss his court date. A post on Israel's government website from November describes Alexandrovich as the head of the Technological Defense Division at the INCD. A screenshot of Alexandrovich's LinkedIn page, first reported by Mediaite, describes him as the same. Well, guess what? He deleted his LinkedIn page. He's trying to throw everybody off of his trail, but it's too late. We got the police records. We got your picture. We got your LinkedIn where you were posting that you were in Las Vegas. All the ducks seem to point to Alexandrovich or Tom Alexandrovich, and we know that he did it. Just give him a flight back, sweep it all under the rug, and when it blows over, we'll just put him back to work. That's the way that this seems to be going. Let's go ahead and skip down a little bit. It says he was among 8 men in an operation led by Nevada's Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. Yeah, so it was 7 other gentlemen with him that got caught. It was a priest that got caught. It was Alexandrovich that got caught. And it was 6 other gentlemen. I believe the priest posted his $10,000 bail as well. But he's a local. So he's not going to have the opportunity to fly to another country. If he has a passport and he has some sort of ties to another country where he can escape justice, the priest, it's probably going to be confiscated. But for whatever reason, Tom Alexandrovich's passport wasn't confiscated. And it wasn't even reported that he was out of the country until he was already gone, that he was evading arrest and evading the consequences of his action until he was already gone, and we're never going to get him back. Now, unfortunately, this doesn't seem to be a isolated case, because when I initially saw this, I saw it pretty early on when Sean King was reporting on it on Twitter. He had released it, a couple of days ago, like Sunday night, Monday morning, somewhere around there. And before there was anything on YouTube, I started going on YouTube looking for it. I was like, yo, I got to get the details of this. Let me see somebody explaining it. And there was nothing on YouTube. But you know what did pop up? There was a video I saw that said how American Israelis commit these acts and escape to Israel. That's the video that popped up. If you don't believe me, let me bring it up. I will show you. Here we go. Here is a video from 5 years ago that says how Jewish American pedophiles hide from justice in Israel. I'm not saying it's everybody, but what I am saying is there was enough of a pattern there for people to say, yo, let me bring attention to this in a larger story. This is CBS News. This is CBS News that reported that 5 years ago. Now, what I would like to see this guy brought back to the U.S. I would like to see him face justice. I would like to see the person that's accountable for allowing him to be released face justice. And I would like to know what the government is going to do to protect the children of America from anybody coming into this country, anybody that's already in this country. That's what I would like to see.